Okay, got a quick special report for you today on something you don't really hear much about on boats, but it's very important. These water pump. This is dealing with all the domestic water for the boat, so drinking water, washing water, everything that you need. So obviously quite important. And on a boat like this with the tanks in the keel, if that dies, then you've got no way of getting the water up, so you can have full tanks and not actually get to them. So you really want it to keep working, and the problem with these is they don't keep working. In my experience, we've been through 4 of them now in the 9 years that we've owned Fair Isle. We started off with a pump like this. These things do go through these diaphragms in here as they turn around. It's fairly vicious, this little piston action that it has, and it splits them. I go through about 2 a year. And actually, when we bought Fair Isle, the box that had the biggest amount of spares in it in our spares store here was spares for this pump, and boy did you need them. I was changing things all the time, got fed up with it in the end. It didn't work very well, and I swapped it out for a standard pump like the one that I've got here now. I think that lasted 2 years, the first one of those. That died, and I can't remember where I was. I was somewhere where I just ended up buying a cheap Chinese one. It was half the price of these Jabsco ones, because these are quite expensive. And I thought, well, I'll just give it a go. And it didn't last more than a couple of months. In fact, it was producing really high pressure. And in the end, I mean, I had about a week of it working quite well and having quite nice showers. But then it blew the pressure valve in the hot water tank, and started having all sorts of problems. So yeah, we had to rip that one out. I've gone back to these ones, and yeah, there's another problem with them, which is not just its reliability, and it's the thing that just winds me up the whole time. I'll show you what that is when I just run the tap here. It will run obviously for a few seconds because we've got an accumulator tank before it does anything, but then this will fire up, and when it does fire up, you'll hear what it sounds like. That's it. You probably could barely hear me over the noise of that. That's what it sounds like. I mean, obviously with the settee on there, it's slightly less than that, but not a lot. It's really, really noisy. Let's turn it off. And it doesn't produce very good pressure or volume. I'm going to wait for it to shut up. Phew. The thing about these diaphragm pumps is there are a lot of moving parts. The diaphragms themselves are quite fragile, and the motors tend to wear out. There are a lot of YouTube repair videos for a reason. These diaphragm pumps tend to be able to give pressure, but often not enough volume of water. If you're having a shower and someone runs a tap anywhere else, then you lose all your water. It can't really do 2 taps at once, all of those things. And I thought that was sort of standard until we went to Metz. And we saw this. You might have seen it in the episode we did on Metz, but this is what we were looking at.
I can show you.
Okay.
With a very small demonstration that this control allows you to have basically the water demand, okay, that you really require. So when I open the tap a little bit, you can hear that the pump is going very slowly.
Right.
The more water I need, the faster the motor goes, providing you the actual flow rate you need.
Right.
So, of course, you will have a very soft start and soft stops, which basically allows you to have a longer lifespan of the pump, but you have a very compact footprint. You can see the smallest version here already have 12 liters per minute, but it's extremely small.
Exactly. Now we are looking at probably about 46 per minute, maybe even 52.
Okay.
What's the difference, and what should we go for?
Okay, it really, when choosing a pump, you have to ask yourself, first of all, how many outlets do you have? How long is the boat overall? And exactly how is the system? So basically, if you have a very simple system, a 46, usually we recommend it for a 14-meter boats. Yeah. If bigger, you would definitely need something.
We're a bit bigger too.
And also do consider that in this case, you will have another benefit, which is the backup pump. Imagine you're on navigation and something happens, whatever may happen to the pump, you will always have the backup pump functioning.
So if one breaks, the other just kicks in?
Just kicks in.
Okay,
yes.
That's terrific. And it's actually so compact.
Extremely compact.
We could definitely fit that in where we are. So you've got 6 different taps here.
Yeah,
Does that
exactly.
represent the 6 different tap room
Exactly,
I have?
absolutely. With this system here, you can definitely make sure that you can use all of them at the same time without having any kind of problem in terms of flow rate or pressure.
Wow, that is a good shower.
To be honest, I just thought that they must be cheating. They must have some sort of hose around the back supplying this. It can't be from the pump, but it was. The Marco pumps are gear pumps. They use highly engineered bronze gears. The water doesn't pass through the gears themselves, but round the edge they can get good flow and good pressure. And they should be much more robust than a rubber diaphragm. So the upshot of that is this. We have got one. This is the Marco pump. So this is the biggest one, the double one they did. To be honest, it's probably overkill. We could have probably just gone with the one below this, but I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound. I think, you know, let's just do the job properly. We're going to put this in. It's a little bit bigger footprint than what's there at the moment, so I might have to make something for it to sit on because we've got this slope here. But yeah, let's put it in, see how it works, see how it compares noise-wise, and how it does pressure-wise as well. Hopefully, it should be a lot better. And for those of you that thought the pump was noisy because it was mounted badly, it not only had its rubber feet, but I mounted it on a bed of rubber as well to try and quieten it down. Okay, so I've got my little platform in, ready for mounting. I made a mess, you always do when you're living on the boat, because I've had to empty out a load of cupboards here, because there's a couple of wires that go up into the boxes that I've mounted in there. That's for these. It's a little display that comes up with different errors, and you can start and stop the pump from it and reset the pump, all different things. It tells you if there's water in the pipes or whatever, but it's mainly, I think, if you're going to wire it up to a meter in the tank so that it'll stop before the tank is empty, which would be useful. We can't do that on here because I've got vacuum ones on here. They're not, it's not an electrical meter on the boat, so yeah, we won't be able to do that bit, but I'll connect these up anyway to the ones I've put in there, and then we can plonk it on and put the pipework on. So I just put these in. They've got these little plugs on both ends. There's one end goes in here, the other end in the pump itself. Just put the slack through. Okay, up in there. Put the screws in, and then the other end of it down here, we've got a bit which plugs into the pump itself. So there's two of those. I'll put the pump in first, and then we can connect it all up. So you can see the bottom of the unit's got these nice little rubber feet, which should help out with any noise and vibration. I can just stand it down there and screw it in, connect everything up. Okay, so careful just to screw it down just far enough not to compress the rubber. Okay, so I've got all the pipe work and electrics on. Obviously it needs all tidying up, but yeah, this is the input. The output's obviously got the gauge on it, and I've used the strainer that I had from the old one. I haven't screwed that down yet, but let's turn it on and just see if it works and see how much noise we get from this one. It's going to be interesting to see. There's the switches. You can barely hear it. I thought it hadn't come on then, but it has. There you go. Look, you can see water coming through. See the pressure gauge is up. Got our things in there, so I'm going to have a look through and find out what all those different lights mean. Well, the blue light's gone out, and what the flashing amber one is. I'll go through that in a minute. In the book there is a little bleed screw down here which they've made difficult to get to. Undo that. It's a little Allen screw just in there. This is just let some out through that and then do it up. So I'll tighten that up, and yeah, let's go ahead and run some of the taps. It seems to be taking a lot of bleeding. The pump's monitoring has told me there's a problem. There's air coming into the pump. I've just got to find out where from. That's it. Yes, it is. So air coming through though. Why is all that air coming through? Where's it coming from? That's the question. There's no air in that bit, but there is in this bit. If you saw the episode where I fitted this, you'll know it took a bit of tracking down, but it ended up being my manifold, which had a stuck one-way valve. Okay, so I've tidied everything up in there. It's all looking good. The lights are doing their thing. So I think we're good to go. Okay, so we've been using the pump for a little while now. Everything's perfect now that sorted out those problems which were with the boat, with the manifold, not with the pump. So it's been working really well.
Yeah, great pressure. Just had a shower. Really good. Best shower ever.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, I will go round there in a minute and run it with the camera on it when Judy's running the tap out here, because that's what we were talking about.
We haven't done two things at once yet.
Yeah, I used to lose pressure with that. But yeah, while we're here, I'll show you, this is where the control boxes went. I did show fitting them, but that's the normal state. So you've got the run light on the bottom just flashing. That means it's in standby, and the green light just means it's got power. So Jude, if you just run the tap for a second, I'll show you what happens when the tap is running. So that's what happens. The blue light comes on, say that there's water going through, so the top one's doing the work at the moment, and turn it off. So the one with the blue light on there, the top one was the one that actually came on first. One pump will come on first. If it needs more water because another tap comes on or it has to run really fast, then the other one will kick in as well, so you'll have two of them with the blue lights on. Then it just go back to its standby mode. If you ever get a red light in there, so sometimes when I was bleeding it in the beginning, I was getting a red light on this top one. That's because it had an airlock in it and needs bleeding. Best way to clear that is to turn the bottom one off and just run the top one, and it'll just run through that water, and then you can just start it again. If there's ever any problems, you can hit the reset buttons there. You don't have to worry about getting to the pump, which is good. It's nice to fit these, because you don't have to. You don't have to fit those control panels. You could just leave them out and just have the pump as it is. But you know, I found it useful, certainly with those problems that we had with the manifold when I was trying to clear things, to be able to just do it up here. And I think, you know, yeah, in its sort of lifetime, it would be nice to have that there. If you ever get any air in and other bits and pieces, you can see what's happening straight away, and you can, you know, clear most things from there. So yeah, really good. I'm going to go and try that shower tap now. Okay, so I'm in the shower. I'm going to turn it on. And then I'll knock on the wall, because the galley's just behind here. Okay, run the tap. And there you go. Makes no difference, full power. I think this is a revelation for our boat. Very, very glad we got this. All the details in the description if you want to know anything more about Marco pumps.